Oh, hello. In this blog, I want to address the executive functioning part of autism and how it relates to writing, in particular, plotting and structure. Just briefly, most people with autism and or ADHD will have executive functioning problems. The kind of problem difficulties will be manifested in things like planning, timing, organising, problem solving, communicating or in an ordered sequential manner, prioritising, picking out what's important, problems with working memory, staying on track, and multitasking. When writing a book, one of the main things you need to do is plot it. You need to organise your thoughts and plan out its structure. As you can imagine, all the qualities mentioned above are necessary for this. A plot is often described as a sequence of events, and as we can see, many autistics have problems with this. This may be why I have always been drawn to writing and reading character-driven fiction. There was an article by Sean Glatch at writers.com where he sums up this distinction between character-driven or literary fiction and plot-driven or genre fiction. They're often used to mean the same. I will put that up in the written blog. I There's just some pictures of me because I couldn't bear to see myself on video, so I'm just holding up a few of my books while I do this recording. So I think readers often come to a piece of fiction and are expecting something plot driven, and then they can be let down if it's character driven. This is why it's important to categorise your book. If a reader wants genre and more plot-driven fiction, then they're going to feel frustrated with something that's more descriptive or slow-moving or exploring characters' internal worlds, or that plays with, for example, form or viewpoint. I mean, the two aren't mutually exclusive. Obviously, plot is important, but sometimes it's where the emphasis is. However, I was once advised, or somebody said, that character driven is plot driven, and that stayed with me because if I'm drawn to a character, I want to know what happens to him or her. Their flaws and foibles will drive a lot of the story, as mentioned in the article that I'm going to put up. I'll put up a link in the written blog. But I always thought plotting was my weak point. When I used to send my work off to agents or publishers and was lucky enough to get constructive feedback, it was often things about the plot, the structure, or the narrative arc that came under fire. If you Google different plots and techniques, you'll see a dizzying array of different ones with different names, which, if you're anything like me, won't do your ADHD any favours. I mean, some people can do their plot mathematically, knowing exactly at what points to put their climaxes. I mean, there's probably a golden mean or Fibonacci sequence for writing the perfect book, but that's far too analytical for me. I prefer to feel my way and go with the flow. After all, if you ever do author interviews online, one of the questions you'll invariably be asked is, are you a plotter or a pantster? A pantster being the opposite to plotter, is, flying by the seat of your pants and seeing where the writing takes you. I do bits of plotting which evolve as I go along, but the freedom of pantsing suits my way of writing and is a perfectly legitimate approach. And many well-known novelists do use that method. Maybe I do get distracted by too many subplots and sometimes not see the wood for the trees, or too many parts and not the whole. I used to approach chess in the same manner and took the circuitous route. I did get there in the end and I have won some games in my time, but I usually played with others who had a similar style of play, so you knew each other's style. But this is maybe why I like slice of life fiction or stream of consciousness fiction. Novels where plot is looser, that makes use of flashback and less linear sequences, where freshness of thought and observation are just as key. Luckily, a lot of contemporary fiction makes use of such techniques. I think synopses as well can be the hardest. A synopsis of your novel can be the hardest thing to write, but especially if you're autistic. You have to pick out what's important in your book, and as for those who want you to outline what each chapter is about, forget it. Anyway, I would love to hear from other autistic or neurodiverse authors to see how you approach novel writing. Are you a plotter or a pantster or a plotster even? The fact that we've completed and published books at all, though, means we must have overcome or worked around our executive dysfunction, and that's to be celebrated. So I'll leave you with that, and that's all for today. Thank you for watching and listening. Bye.